How are you? Oh, hi, Sandra. How are you? I haven't talked to Sandra in a long time because of not having electricity, which is a real pain because we don't have, we have a well, so we had no water because we couldn't turn the well on. Had an electric pump and we couldn't turn it on. So not only no electricity, but no water. Believe me, that was a pain. So I am so glad that we have power again. But now it's really, really cold here. And I'm so ready for summer. I want summer to come so that we can open up our backyard and enjoy the sun. Now, can you see well enough? Do I need to zoom in a little bit more? Let me see if I can zoom it a little bit. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. That way we can see her face a little bit more. All right, so this is my CR3. Yeah, if I run out of my Copics, I don't know what I'm going to do. Not Copics, my illustrators. Because my Copics, I'm about out of ink on many of my colors. And for some reason, you can't get ink right now. They came out with new ink, so I don't know why. Not that it's new ink, but a new container. So I don't know why there's no ink available. I don't know if they're waiting for people to run out before they allow them to stock back up. I'm not sure. I'm just kind of blending her cheeks a little bit because I don't want too red. So that's what I'm trying to do. But I don't want to take away her highlight in her face either. So I'm just kind of lightly going across. And I like my Spectrum Noirs. They're great markers too. Okay, there we go. Now, I am going to go ahead and do my cotton candy. Because I'm going to put some sparkly on it. So I want to do it now so that way it'll dry when I put the sparkly on before I do the hair. That's my goal. So hopefully you can see okay. I think my hand might still be in the way. Let me scooch you guys over just a little bit. There we go. I'm trying to not make you too dizzy. So this is CR4 and I'm using CR4 just a little bit. And then I'm going to use CR3, and I started with CR6, just in case you're wondering what I'm doing. I know I'm kind of going back and forth. So that's what I'm doing. Let me see if these have, some of my markers, yeah, has the paint nib, which I prefer. There we go. There we go. So anyway, I was saying that a dormitory lost its roof and several buildings lost their roof. We thought it was a tornado. It crushed part of our fence, but it was straight line winds. It was really weird. Our baby was looking out the window because it was real hot, looking out the window, and she started scrunching up her face, and I heard a really loud sound, so I moved her real quick. And then that's when all this damage happened and the lights went off, and then we were without it for several days. But we made the best of it. We cooked out. We did all sorts of, we tried to enjoy ourselves. We tried to make the best of it. You know, because there's nothing you can do when it happens. You can't, I mean, you could gripe and complain, but then it makes your life miserable. So it's better not to. So there we go. I was thankful, though, that my mother didn't lose power. She lives about 16 miles from us. So I didn't want that to happen because she's older. Be a little bit harder. There we go. Okay, so I want this to dry because I'm going to put a little bit of sparkly on it because I think cotton candy has kind of a glimmer. So, there it is. I was looking for my little sparkly. So I want it to dry. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on, and then I will finish the image because I want this to dry before we put the card together. There we go. There we go. I'm not really into cotton candy, but I know some people love it. Okay, so I am going to use AB1, 2, and 3. So AB1, 2, and 3 for her trousers. And I'll show you the paper that I'm trying to match up to. Here it is. It's an Echo Park paper. See, it has some pretty colors in it. So that's my color inspiration right there. So, hi Connie. How are you? Oh, hi Jackie. How are you? Oh, is Dawn on? Hi Dawn. How are you? Yeah, it feels like it's been forever since I've done a live. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Let me, let's see, maybe move her up a little bit. Let me see. I have her zoomed in so much that, let me zoom her out just a little bit because I want to stay in frame. There we go. I had her a little bit close as I was doing her face. So this is my AB2. And I'm just doing a little bit. And tonight I am using the Copic Express paper, which I love. I love Copic Express. I also love Sweet Sentiment paper. I kind of go back and forth between the two depending on the image that I'm doing. So tonight I'm using the Copic Express. It's kind of got a silky feel to it. And some images I like to use the Sweet Sentiment, and some images I like to use the Copic Express. It just kind of depends what I'm working with. But they're both good papers. Anyway, I'm really hoping that no more, gosh, it's been a rough year. I'm hoping that things settle down. It's kind of the end of the semester, so I'm always very busy with the end of the semester with planning, have assessments to do and all that stuff. People think teaching is so easy, and believe me, you got lots and lots to do. So, oh, somebody said go out and come back. It's in closed captioning. Oh, okay. I'm gonna say I don't have closed captioning on. I would imagine that doesn't work very well with the Facebook Live because of accents and things. I wouldn't think it would pick up very well. There we go. Although it's a good thing to have it on, because if you have somebody that is from the deaf community, they might enjoy, you know, it might be more beneficial to them to have closed captioning. So this is my AB2, and I'm just adding a little bit more because I want to have a bit of a shadow. So I'm just kind of going in where I would have a shadow at. So, yeah. I was telling my friend that I don't feel as inspired as I normally do because I'm feeling very overwhelmed with teaching and teaching my own students and doing the homeschooling with my son. It's very hard to wear 3 hats and then having the baby too. But of course we want everybody safe and sound at home. Okay, so I'm going to use my AB3 right here on the cuff. And a little bit right here. So I'm just putting a little touch, just a little touch. I'm going to put a little touch over here too. I often go kind of back and forth on my images to get the look that I want. So I'm just going to go across. I'm trying really hard not to move my image because I want to stay in frame. It does feel like a lot to juggle. And I'm old. For those of you that are new, you know, we adopted, and I'm old. And we have children in 3 different age groups: a teenager, an 11-year-old, and a soon-to-be, she's not yet, but soon-to-be 2-year-old. And I'm old. All right, so let me go back to her skin. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the light, and I'm going to do her hand. Do her hand here. I think I'll just finish off her skin. So I'm going to do the light, and then I'll go in with the darker color. Yeah, I don't know where are people getting their Copic refills, because all my skin tones are out. And I looked about 4 or 5 places, and I can't find any refills. I know they're coming out with a smaller bottle that will fit in people's cases. You know, they're going to be the same size basically as the Copic markers. But why they don't have them in yet, I don't know. Maybe it's because of the virus. I don't know. I don't know why they don't have them in yet. So I'm hoping that my nice Spectrum Noirs do not run out. I'm trying to, I have other markers and I've been trying to use kind of a combination so I don't use up all my ink. Because I don't know, that'd be a disaster when you're trying to do lives to use up all your ink. So if you guys have a good place that you get ink refills, let me know, because I really need to get them. Need to get more. Okay, so let's do her, let's see, let's do her shirt. So I'm going to use LY, it's LY1, LY2, and LY3 for her shirt. And I'm going to put my ABs off to the side because I might come back and use those again. So what I actually did with her shirt is right in here where her folds are at. See, right here on the edge. And just kind of, this is kind of a frilly shirt. So I want the darker, kind of the darker color. So that way you see the frills. So there we go. Like that. State Fair, which is a big deal here in Indiana. State fairs. I don't know if they're a big deal in other places or not, but state fairs are a big deal here. So that was my LY3. We have 4-H, and you know, it's a big deal to participate in the fair, to have your animals and compete with your animals, and if you make clothing or food, that type thing, it's a huge deal. So this is LY1. LY1. So I'm just gonna bring it. Now I'm not pulling the dark. So I'm kind of staying away from the edge because I don't want to pull the dark. I just want to fill it in with the lighter color. So that's what I'm trying to do. Not fill in the dark. So there we go. That way it keeps looking frilly is my idea. And then I do go back and forth. So I may very well go back to that shirt in a moment. Now I'm going to do her shoes. The same. Use the same colors. So I'm using my LY3. And I'm going to do the soles first. Just kind of go around with the soles. And then I'm going to take the paint nib end and just go like this. Right in here. That's my LY3. Then I'm going to take my LY2 and pull this down. The nice thing about Spectrum Noirs are the colors are really, really rich. Now, they don't have a lot of nice, to me, they don't have the really pale colors that you get with your Copics, but their jewel tones are just so pretty. So I really like them for some images more than, sometimes I like my Copics and sometimes I like these. So I'm just kind of pulling that down because we want to have a good highlight in her shoes too. And I am going over it twice with my lighter color here. Kind of going back and forth. All right, now let's do her, let's do the ice cream cone. Or not ice cream cone, sorry. Snow cone. Snow cone. So I'm using my TN1 and my TN3. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a smidgen, just a smidge right here on the tip and right up here. And then I'm going to take my TN1 and I'm pulling that. So I'm pulling this up and then pulling this down because we want a little bit of shadow in here. And then I'm going over it a second time very lightly because I am very, very, very heavy-handed like that. Ours are in the fall. Your Jackie, are you talking about your state fairs are in the fall? Because ours are during the summer. Towards the end of the it's a big deal here. But I don't know this year. So I'm going back to my AB 1, 2, and 3. I don't know this year. Will they have state fairs? I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work with the virus. Well, because I guess the kids, they can't really meet with their 4-H. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to happen. Of course, everybody's Zooming. So I don't know if they're still having 4-H, but doing it with Zoom, I don't know. I have 4 Zoom appointments 3 for the baby and 1 for myself tomorrow. She has physical therapy and occupational therapy both over Zoom, which I just think is so hilarious, but it works. So it's just amazing. And then she's got a doctor's appointment, and then I have a doctor's appointment. And for me, it's okay, because normally I would have to drive all the way up to Indianapolis, which is about a 3-hour drive, and I don't have to do that. So that part's kind of nice. But I feel like with all the Zooming I'm doing that I'm almost busier than I was before I was Zooming all the time. Wish I had stock in Zoom. I think that might be a good business to be in. So that's my AB2. So I'm going to go back over. This is my AB3. I'm going to kind of go over my collar a little bit. A little bit more here. A little bit here. Sorry, get a little quiet when I'm concentrating. A little bit there. Oh, let's put some around her shoulder too. Then we'll pull it out with the AB2. There we go. Oh, no, let's pull it out with the AB1. It's like I said, so rich. The colors are so rich that you have to be careful because you don't want to lay too much ink down. There we go. I'm trying to avoid the pretty buttons. I've got a special marker for that. There we go. Yeah, like that. Like that. And then back again. Kind of go over it a couple of times because we want to have some good dimension with this jacket. So cute. Isn't she cute? I need to do her hair before I do that bow. There we go. Kind of working backwards because normally I do the hair first. Okay, let's kind of go down here. I'm very heavy-handed, so I'm trying to be not heavy-handed. All right, so let me show you what I'm going to use for the buttons. I think it says Chanel. I got these during the summer at Tuesday morning. See, it has a paint nib, then it has a nice fine tip on it. And I like these when I do my buttons. See, it's just like perfect. It has like 6 pins, maybe 5 or 6 pins in the set. So, I don't know. Hi, Fatima. How are you? Okay, we're going to tackle this hair. We're going to tackle the hair, and then I'll do the bow. So, let me get the colors out. So, I'm going to use GBs. And I'm switching the color from when I colored her earlier. So hopefully it's not a mistake doing that. So I'm going to use GB5 and GB7 and GB10. So first I'm going to take my lightest color and I'm going to do up here, right up here. I go light to dark when I do hair. So light to dark. So I'm going to do over in here. And then kind of around, right up in here, back in here. And everybody has their own way of doing hair, but I do light to dark. So that's GB 5. Now I'm going to do the GB7. GB7. And then I was going to do GB10. Let me see. Here we go. GB7. And it's kind of a greenish tint. And I'm just doing little short strokes. So it's kind of got a little bit of a greenish tint, reddish green tint going on. And just kind of like that. Oh, let's do this little strand here. Like that. You know, it's snowing up North Indiana. My friend just planted dogwood trees and then got frost warnings 3 nights in a row, and now they've got snow. It's really weird weather. I'm having a hard time coloring any other images other than P&D. P&D are very, very, very cute. Very cute. You know, I get on a kick sometimes when I color, you know, like there's certain images you'll color over and over again. Yeah, I get on a kick, and I'll really get into one designer. Yeah, that's what's good about being on design teams, because then you're challenged and you're doing other things. So I do kind of like that. Okay, so I'm going to use my TN6. My TN6. So this is going to give her a little bit of a reddish look. So I'm going to, I don't want to make you dizzy, but I'm going to kind of turn her a little bit. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to go this way. Try not to make you too dizzy. Sorry. It's hard to get in here if you don't turn her just a little bit. So I'm hoping I'm staying in frame. Let me bring her down, because I'm looking and it seems like I'm a little bit out of frame. So I'm just kind of going back in here. Just little short strokes. That's what I'm trying to do. Little short strokes. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in with my light color. So let me find, I'm using my Tri-Blends. Here we go. So I said GB5, which is right here. Okay, this is my lighter one. And kind of pull it, go across it. There we go. I had done her more blonde before the live, and then I decided, no, I wanted to do her a little bit darker. Because, I don't know. I didn't want her to blend in with her shoes too much. So I should have maybe practiced a little bit more. You know, switching at the last minute might not be the wisest thing to do, but that's okay. I often take chances. So I'm turning her again. And just a little bit more here. And then we'll do her bow, and we'll put her together. Yeah, I hope that we're done with the really, really cold weather here. I don't know. After we had our electricity go off, we had freezing weather for a couple of nights while we had no heat. That was a lot of fun. But it could have been worse. We live along the river, Wabash River, and so storms are kind of common here. There we go. So she has, kind of got out of frame a little bit. She has some highlights. You know, let me... kind of got out of frame just a little bit. Let me bring her down. There we go. Little bit. I think what I'm going to do is go in just a little bit more right in here. Just little tiny strokes. Just a little bit more to give her a little bit more definition with her part. There we go. And I'm going to do a couple more. A little bit more right in here, just to kind of give her a little bit more separation in her hair. There we go. I think I like that a little bit better. Okay, so now we're going to do her bow. Oh, and I am going to add just a little bit. I think what happens is when you color and you wait a few minutes, your ink kind of goes into your paper. You know, it gets absorbed, and so you need to touch up a little bit. So I like to always go back and add a little bit after I've done some coloring, because I just feel like you see places that the ink kind of absorbed, and you might want it just a little bit more definition. So let me see if this has my paint in. Yep. There we go. So I just want a little bit more definition over in here. A little bit more there. I always tell people that watch that I often take a picture, and then I can see through the lens, where do I need to go back in to, you know, to add a little bit more depth. There we go. And a little bit more up in here, and then a little bit back in here. There we go. I think that looks a little bit better. Has a little bit more shine. All right, so now let's do her bow. So I'm going to go back to my LY1, LY2, and LY3. And then we're going to give her some polka dots too. A little bit of fun. Then we'll put her together. So, here we go. I'm just laying down a little bit of color and then come back. Christina Woodmansey. Is that how you say your last name? That's a beautiful last name, Woodmansey. Very pretty. Yeah, there we go. And that was the LY3. And so I'm going to go in my LY2. Add a little bit more. Just a little bit more. A little bit here. And then we're going to go over it with our LY1. Just lightly. There we go. Because we want to highlight. Now, so it gives us some definition. And so now I am going to go in with my AB2. And I'm going to do these stripes. I'm doing every other stripe like that. So one right there and one right there. Right there. Go over that a couple of times. And now I'm going to take my AB3. My AB3. And I'm just going to do dots. Polka dots. So just randomly. Just kind of randomly. There we go. Just to, I don't know, make her have some interest in there. There we go. I mean, her bow was perfectly fine. Didn't have to do that, but I just wanted to. I just thought it would add a little bit of interest there. So then I'm going to take my medium. I'm going to kind of go back over her face just a little bit more up in here. Just a little bit. Give her a bit of a shadow. And over in here. Back here by her ear and underneath her chin, a little bit above her nose. Yeah, just a little bit. Like I said, I'm a little heavy-handed, so I have to be careful. I don't want to lay down too much, but just a little bit. All right, and then over in here and down this way. Okay, let's see. See if I missed anything. There we go. Now, see, that's dried pretty well. And what I'm going to do now, and you don't have to do this, I just, I don't know, white bothers me for some reason. So I am taking, I'm going to move these all out of the way. I'm going to take my blender pen. Let me find my blender pen. Yeah, my blender pen and my IB1. And we're going to just do a little bit of blue around her. And then we'll put her together. So what I do is I take my blender pen and I just kind of go over it just a little bit. And that way when I put the ink on from the blue, it lightens it up just a little bit. So I'm going to turn her sideways and I'm just kind of, you don't have to be real careful with this. Just, I don't want to touch up against her because then it will make it smear, and I don't want to do that. Okay, so I just wanted to put a little bit because I want my blue to lighten up just a little bit. So I'm going to take my blue pen and I'm going to go ahead and turn her back. Hopefully I'm not making you too dizzy. And just kind of, see, just kind of pull it out. And the blue will lighten up a bit. So it will lighten up a bit. I'm just going to kind of go around her. And trying to not move her too much. So not very good at doing it from this direction. So there we go. How are you guys' weather where you're at? Where are you guys all from? Why don't you guys start out with that? Sharon's in Scotland. And Dawn, I think, is in Maryland. Is that right? And I don't know if Gail's on. She's in Florida. So where are you guys all from? Oh, Christina is in Florida, which would be lovely. I would love to be in Florida. I had gotten my teacher's license so that I could maybe get a job in Florida. But our life took kind of an unexpected turn. And we got 3 kids. So my plans changed a little bit. I had thought that we could move to the villages and my husband, he's a little bit older, he could retire and I could keep teaching. But then we got 3 kids and you can't live there with children under 19. So that made that out. And it's worth it. It's fine. No problem. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm not miserable about it. You know, I'm happy that we were able, I'm going to turn her, happy that we could do what we're doing. But I still would like to live in the South. I just, I love Tybee, but the taxes are so high there. So I don't know that that's a possibility now. Used to live there. Wish I had held on to that house. Okay, so what I do is I take my marker and I go back over around. Am I still, I hope I'm in, I think I'm out of frame a little bit. Let me see. There's this delay, so there we go. Bring it up. So what I do is I go back around. I need to put tape down so I stay in frame. I go back around and put another layer so that way she kind of stands out. And then we'll put the card together. I want her to stand out in all this blue. So there we go. And so I'm just going back around. It's not real noticeable when you do this, but to me it helps her stand out a little bit more. So I always go back around one more time with my images and then back over this way. And everybody does things differently. There's no right or wrong. It's just whatever you like to do. And here's my blender pen again. And sometimes I go over it just a little bit more. I really like a brush. I don't know if I have a brush tip or not. So let me see. I really like having a brush tip when I use my blender, but I don't seem to have one handy. So I'm just going back over it again because I want it to lighten up just a little bit. I want it to fade out as my, and you're not going to probably notice it because I'm coloring live, but as it dries, it will lighten up quite a bit. It's kind of lightening up a little bit. Okay, so now we are going to assemble the card. And so I am going to, let me zoom out so that way you can see. Okay, so this is a 5.5 inch card, which I've already scored and created. And I have cut a mat and just about an 1/8 of an inch smaller. So I already cut my mat. And I was telling my friend that I'm going to quit doing these square cards because right now our post office is closed and you have to get them hand stamped. So I'm going to go back to making like 5x7 cards. So that way I can mail them because I can't mail these right now. Because you can't, they have to be hand stamped. They don't cost that much more, just about 20 cents more, but you can't just pop them in the mail. All right, so this is the background paper. I think that's so pretty with the bee and all the flowers, and that was my inspiration for the colors. I think this paper back there is pretty. So that's only the bad thing is you like both sides. It's hard to pick which side to use. Try the chisel. Oh yeah, try the chisel end of the blender. That's true. I could do that. I could do that. You know, at our post office, if you just pop the cards in and you don't carry it in to be hand stamped, they won't take them. They'll send them back to you. But since they're closed, I didn't know if maybe I put a rubber band around it and put please hand stamp, you know, a little note. Maybe they would. So I used kind of a scalloped circle, and I'm going to offset it like that. That's what I'm going to do. So I wondered if I did that since they're closed. I mean, it's not my fault that they're closed. If then they would hand stamp it. I don't know. But I have a whole stack of cards to mail. I got one to send to Sandra. I don't want her to think I forgot her. There we go. There we go. And this is Snow Cone Avery, in case you were wondering. Snow Cone Avery. And so I just putting this on the back. Oh, I've got something else too. Before I do that, let me grab it. There we go. A little stripe paper to go with it. which I have already matted this one. And this is Echo Park paper. I think Echo Park paper is so pretty, and it goes so nicely with the Paper Nest Dolls images. If Christine were to make paper, she'd make it for Echo Park, because I just think it goes so well. So I'm just kind of overlapping that. And then I'm going to put her here. And then this says, birds are chirping, grass is green, the sun is shining, it must be spring. See? And I just like it so pretty. Okay, I'm going to pop her up a little bit. This is why you have to get cards hand stamped, because if you pop things up, then they have to be hand stamped. And they are really strict about it here. There we go. But I don't mind paying extra for my cards. I think it's nice to make handmade cards. A lot of love goes into handmade cards, and the people are usually pretty happy when they receive them. You know, a lot of times people don't realize you made them by hand, which I always find surprising. So I have a little stamp that I use when I send a card off that says, see, handmade with love by Jacqueline, and I put that on the back. So I'm going to put this card, this little piece right here. I'm going to pop it up also on this corner, see, and then I'm going to glue down this one corner. Then I still have another little embellishment, but I'm going to glue down, see, this one little corner right here. And this is art glitter glue. I love art glitter glue. See, like that. It's from May Made It is where I order mine at. Then I have this pretty little piece to put up here. Just a little sequin. I'm just going to pop that on right over there. Like that. There we go. I just think it's such a pretty, got a little bit of a shine right here. Sometimes I go back over and I say, oh, let's add a little shine right here. See, on her shoe. And then what about on her ribbon? You could never have enough shine. And then I'm going to go back over her cotton candy just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, oh, you know, and one more place on her buttons. Right there. There we go. You can never have too much shine. There we go. I just think it's such an adorable little image. I just love her. I think she's so pretty. And I hope that you love her too. Paper Nest Dolls, they're so cute. They truly are. They are, all of them are fun. There's a lot, quite a few to choose from. I'm just going to add a little bit more definition right in here. I'm never happy. I go over my cards a couple times. Sometimes, like I said, I take a picture and then I look at it and I think, oh, I need to add a little bit more color. So sometimes I go back over them a couple of times. I'm just going to go over this just a little bit and then I'll be done. There we go. Just a little bit more. Like that. Give it a little bit more depth. There we go. Now I'm happy. There we go. See, I had done her earlier a little bit blonder. So you see, you can do her, you know, you could do her with red hair. You could do any color hair you want. I just think she's a fun image. Very fun image. So, that time you said cotton candy. Oh, did I? I might have said, you know what? Sometimes I say the wrong thing. I know I do that. Hey, Sandra. There we go. Hi, Cindy Schnell. How are you? You know, you have a dog a lot like Sharon's. Very much like Sharon's. And Sandy Richards Ference. She is cute. All the Paper Nest Dolls are really cute. I was trying to see if I had another one close by that I've done recently. I have a stack of cards because I haven't mailed them out. And I'm just looking to see if I have another one close by to show you. Because they're all cute. They're all adorable. No, I have them in my box already. Because I file them away until I use them. But they're all cute. They're all adorable. So there you go. Thank you for joining me. And I do lives usually twice a week unless something happens. I've had a little bit of bad luck recently. Hopefully there's no more bad luck going on. Because, you know, nobody wants bad luck. There we go. Oh, do you read your comment? I don't read my comments very much. I'm sorry. I didn't realize and ordered the other extra postage. I'm bad about reading my my comments. Oh, put them in a 6x9 envelope. Oh, that might be a good idea. I make my envelopes. So if I put them in a 6x9 envelope, Dawn, then I would just put maybe 70 cents on them, 70 or 90 cents on it. I'm not sure. But let me know, and I will try mailing it that way instead. Yes, you know what? There are 3 places. We have Paper Nest Dolls Inspiration. I don't know if you can see that. Paper Nest Dolls Inspiration. That's the Facebook group. And then there is Paper Nest Dolls My Shopify. That is how you can get your images online. And then papernestdolls.com to get stamps, rubber stamps. And the rubber stamps are delightful. I have a few rubber stamps that I got during the summer. Let me see if I have one that I can show you. They're delightful. They're really nice. Here, I'll show you. Here's, I'll show you the size. I have Owen building birdhouse. I'll show you. See, they're pretty big. They're not too little. That's my palm. See? So they're pretty good size. And then what I do when I do my digital images is I print them at, this one's 3.5, and sometimes I print them between 3.5 and 4 inches. It depends on the die that I'm using. But if you look, see, that's about the same size. So right there, that's about 3.5. And these are nice. It's a nice size. And they're good. They're a nice heavy red rubber. So you can get them as a digi image, or you can order stamps. And I have probably about 8 or 9 stamps that I had ordered because I love, like Jackie Looper, I love Paper Nest Dolls. So there you go. So I will see you. I do lives on Sunday at 3 and Thursdays at 7. So I will see you guys later. Thank you for joining me.